The topic of this video is spiritual partnership and great sex. Hi, I'm Emily Liu. I help you climax in love. I'm the author of CLIMAX, Why Great Leaders Need Love Affairs. In the last video, which I'm going to link above, I talked about spiritual partnership and intimacy, and what it takes to transcend the levels of intimacy from physical to emotional to mental to spiritual. In this video, let's talk about how that relates to great sex. Because sex for just orgasm's sake is great. That's baseball sex. Okay, we have an agenda. We're going to connect with each other physically because we're hot for each other, we like each other, we have a great emotional connection. But a lifetime of just going through like this baseball sex, let's have an agenda to reach the orgasm. Is that really fulfilling? For some people, it is fulfilling and it's okay. For others, they want something deeper than that kind of, okay, we have an agenda and let's just climax. So spiritual partnership and great sex is really about seeing the oneness within yourself, the oneness with your partner, and oneness with the universe. Sexual energy is extremely powerful. It's energy. We're all made up of energy. When we have sex, two people come together and bring those energies together. That creates a third entity. For some people, that entity, that synergy can be transcendent and phenomenal. It's difficult to get to that state of transcendent of oneness where you feel like you're in an altered state of consciousness without really understanding who you are and just like understanding that we're all made of energy and that we are all one. And coming together in sexual union is about seeing the other person for the totality of who they are. It's about looking into the eyes of the other and just acknowledging through the energy of the eyes, just saying, I see you. I see you, your higher self that I know today, and I also see the little child parts inside of you that were hurt and wounded. And I want to see all of those younger parts of you that have been seeking redemption and validation since childhood. All of us have been wounded in one shape or the other where we felt unloved, unworthy, not attractive enough, just not enough in general. We seek romantic partnerships to heal these younger parts of us. We're not conscious of it, but the real spiritual reason why we want partnership is to heal these younger parts of us that didn't feel worthy, didn't feel enough, and didn't feel worthy of love. When we can understand that two people come together, not only in physical union, but to heal these younger parts of us, this is where going into relationship, understanding this spiritual framework can be so powerful. Yes, it is about finding a person that you are physically attracted to, because we're all made we're all human beings who are sexual. So you have to be attracted to the person that you're with because that's what creates a great relationship. Otherwise, it's just friend zone and the sex can be pretty bland if you don't feel this powerful attraction. But sex is so much more than that when you understand. It's about healing the inner child parts within. When you can truly look into the eyes of your partner and just give them the energy, I've got you, I see you. I love witnessing all parts of who you are, including the parts that have temper tantrums. I hold space for all of these parts of you. And I want to give these younger parts of you the love that they need through our sexual energy. So when you can see sex from that spiritual dimension of healing the little girls and the little boys inside of us that are seeking to feel validated, to feel loved, to feel worthy of love, that is true spiritual partnership. That is a powerful ingredient to great sex. Great sex can be just the raw, quickie sex. Great sex can be very romantic and sensual. Great sex can also be an exchange of this energy of feeling a oneness. Because when, let's say, for a woman to receive the penis of her guy in a heteronormative relationship, it's not about just having the penis enter her. It's about his soul entering her body. When she sees that kind of sexual union and that intercourse as this one soul merging with the other and feeling into that energy, that's where you can feel the oneness with yourself and oneness with your partner and oneness with the universe. That is where you climax at this whole nother level that is different and more powerful than just a regular climax. So that is the depth of what spiritual partnership and great sex is about. When you can look into the eyes of another and just let them know that you see them. Like, I see you, I hear you, I have your back always. No matter what you do, I am here for you. I am not going to judge. I'm going to come from a place of compassion, even when you get angry at me, because I know that your cry with anger or whatever other temper tantrums you have is a cry for love. It's the younger child parts that are crying for love. Especially when you're in an argument with your partner and you reach a stalemate and you just keep having the same argument over and over again. How about the next time you are intimate with that person, you transmit the energy that I see you, I hear you, I love you no matter what. It's about holding that gaze, holding that presence, and holding that consciousness. It's about allowing the other person to fully see into the depth of who you are, especially the part or the parts of you that felt ashamed and worthless. That is where true healing begins and continues for the rest of your life. That is the secondary healing that we are all seeking when we're seeking relationship. The primary healing should happen with our higher self, with a good therapist or spiritual healer. Then, when you understand these intimate parts of you that were shamed and burdened and felt worthless, and you could speak for these parts vulnerably, and your partner can hold space as you tell these stories, this is where real intimacy is built. This is the spiritual intimacy that I talked about in the last video. So I invite you to take a look at great sex and spiritual intimacy in this different way, because we're looking for sex for feeling loved, feeling seen, feeling validated. It's not about the orgasm per se. It's about two energies coming together and colliding in beautiful deliciousness of the penis in the vagina, of the souls merging, and with the souls merging, this is where it could produce orgasms that are beyond your wildest imagination. This is where women can have the capacity to have endless multiple orgasms that just feels like, whoa, we've just been transported to another dimension. And this is where the man in his masculine consciousness can be the witness of that female energy go through the roof. And in turn, he feels so fulfilled from witnessing the surrender of her spiritual energy, her emotional and mental energy, all in to her man. Of course, I'm talking about in the heterosexual context, and this also applies to same-sex relationships. So, a spiritual partnership and great sex is about really understanding who you are at the core and understanding that a great spiritual partnership is about helping each other heal the little child parts inside of each and every one of us. And then when these child parts are healed, you could use that synergy of the great relationship you have to create an entity where you make impact out into the world with the synergy of your partner. That is a true spiritual partnership. If you want to dive deeper into the real reasons of a spiritual partnership, I invite you to read Gary Zukav's book, Spiritual Partnership. And when you can live your life through that lens of what spiritual partnership can produce in terms of having you feel so alive because you feel so safe to be all that you are, and that to feel safe that you're not going to be judged by your partner, and that you're going to do the same for your partner, that you're not going to judge them, and that when they are in temper tantrum, you could hold space for all of these inner child parts that act out at times. When you can navigate conflict through that dimension of holding space for the other, this is where you build real intimacy, which can translate into phenomenal sex, phenomenal raw sex with tears. There is nothing more beautiful than to be in that kind of sexual union where so many raw emotions come out to be released and healed. This is also where, if you've been holding on to resentments and you've been having fights with your partner, and you get into that raw sexual state where you see the depth of who your partner is and not judge, and you have that raw emotional sex where you get transcended to another level, this is where after the orgasm, the great orgasms, you could say like, what were we fighting about? And you just forget, like, the little details of the fights, it really doesn't matter. It's about seeing each other's souls and just seeing the beauty of who they are. Because no one was born bad. Everyone's soul was beautiful. And that soul is just so yearning to come back out and lead and to say, accept me for all that I am. And please accept my stories of why I became who I am. And please forgive me when I act out, because when I act out, it's a cry for love. And when you can see the temper tantrums through that perspective, and when you can see that everyone is doing the best they could, especially when your partner acts out, then you cease to be mad, and you cease to judge others, and you cease to judge yourself. That is a true spiritual partnership. And that kind of compassion and curiosity and playfulness and presence and non-judgment can lead to phenomenal great sex. So that is the relationship between spiritual partnership and great sex. If you want to know more about the spiritual journey of overcoming your burdens, I invite you to read my book, CLIMAX, Why Great Leaders Need Love Affairs. If you love the content of the depth of spiritual intelligence that I share, then I invite you to subscribe to this channel, and please comment below if any of this resonated with you, and if you have any questions, I would love to answer them for you, perhaps in a future video. Until next time, I'll see you later.